Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Gada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karna Sindhu Deen Bandhu Jagatpate Gope Isha Gopika Kantha Radha Kantha Namastite Tapta Kanchan Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanuste Devi Pranamami Hari Priya. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advait Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktivedanta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So, quick recap. What did we study in the first two? Who would like to tell me? Somebody can raise their hand. What was the first verse about? 6. Archana Mataji, yes, Mataji, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, first word, hello.
Yes, we can hear you.
Mataji, the first verse was talking about any sober person who can control his urge to speak, urge of his tongue, belly, genitals, and the anger, demands of his mind, which is always wavering. Only such a person is qualified to have disciples all over the world.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Thank you. Okay, second verse. Please raise your hand. Second verse. Yes, Madhvi Mataji.
Second verse is dealing with the 6 things. That is, first it starts with atyahara, which is collection, overeating and collection of unnecessary collection of food. Then the second one is prayascha, which is unnecessary endeavor of mundane activities from which we don't attain anything. Third thing is prajalpo, which is just talking senselessly, that is not involving any talks about Lord Krishna. Fourth one is niyamagraha. Niyamagraha is either you follow the rules and the regulations for the namesake without aiming for spiritual development, or you reject them, reject all the rules and regulations and act independently and whimsically. Fifth one is jnana sangas. Jana sangas is association with worldly people who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. And sixth one is laulyam, which is having greed for mundane objects. I even know the verse, so if you want I can also say the verse.
Yes.
You want me to say? Okay, yes. Mataji. Hare Krishna. Yeah, atyahara prayascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangas cha laulyam cha then shadabhira bhaktira vinaschati.
Very nice. So these 6 practices destroy one's urge. Very nice. Amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
I am so proud of you. Anybody else memorize the verse? Very nice. Anyone else who has memorized the verse? Any verse, first or second, can raise your hand. You can raise your hand. I'm just going to mute everyone for a second. Yes. Sapna, Hare Krishna. Yes, Sapna. You can unmute. Very quickly. Sapna.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hare bol, Hare bol. Yes.
Mataji, can you tell the shlokas, the chapter 1 only, no, Mataji?
Verse 1 or verse 2, which one did you memorize? I think she's confused. Vimla Mataji, go ahead. Vimla Shashidharan Mataji. Okay, Madhvi Mataji, your hand is raised again.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Vimla Mataji.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please go ahead.
Vacho vegam manasah krodha vegam jihva vegam udarapasta vegam etan vegam yo vishaheta dhirah sarvam abhivam prithvim sasishyat.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Very nice.
Second one also I
okay.
Atyahara prayaso Sorry. Okay. Pratyahārah prayāsascha prajalpo niyamagrah janasangascha
Lalyam cha.
जनसंगश्च लौल्यंश्च षड्भिः भक्तिः विनश्यति.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. So nice.
Mataji, can I check?
Yes, Vibha, go ahead.
Atyahara prayasascha prajalpo niyamagraha janasangascha laulyam cha shadbir bhaktir vinashyati.
Very nice. Thank you, Vibha. I am so proud of you. Okay, so we'll do 3 and 4 today. I think I was going through it. We can do 2 today. Small verses. So who's gonna chant? Or I will chant the verse first, and then whoever wants to chant can raise your hand. Okay. Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte shadbir bhakti prasiddhyati. Who wants to chant? Yes, Roja Mataji, go ahead, please. Roja Mataji.
उत्साह निश्चय धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागत सतो वृते सद्भिर्भक्तिः प्रसिद्ध्यति.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Sapna, you wanted to chant?
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yes, Hare Krishna.
Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat tat karma pravartanat sangat yagat satho vritti shadbir bhakti prasidhyati.
Very nice. Thank you. Vidisha Mataji.
Okay, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Utsaha nishchaya dhairyat tat karma pavartanat sangatyagat sato vrite sadvir bhakti prasiddhyati. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Thank you. Anybody else who wants to chant?
Mataji, can I chant?
Sri Lakshmi? Is
Yes.
it you?
Yes.
Yes, chant please.
Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sadovritte sadbir bhakti prasidhyati.
Very nice. Thank you. Yes, Nirja Mataji.
उत्साहनस्य यद्धैर्य तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागसतो वृत्ते सद्भिर्भक्ति प्रसीद्यति.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Vimla Mataji.
उत्साहात् निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्मो प्रवर्तनात् संघो त्यागात् सतो वृत्तेत् सद्भिर्भक्तिर् प्रसिद्ध्यति.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji.
Shall I, Mataji?
Yes, Mataji.
I will recite.
Who is speaking?
Gayatri.
Okay,
Gayatri.
Go ahead. Go ahead,
Utsaha
Mataji.
nishchaya dhairya. Yeah. Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tattat karma pravartanat sango tyagat sato vritte sadbhir. Could you hear me?
Yes. Shadbhir bhakti prasiddhyati.
Yeah, I said.
Mataji, we
You
can
want
hear
me
you.
to recite again?
Yes, please go ahead.
Yeah. उत्साह निश्चय धैर्यात् तत्कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतवृत्ते सद्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Reshma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Utsaha nishchaya dhairya tat karma pravartanat sangatyagat sato vritte shadbir bhakti prasidhyati.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Very
Mataji.
nice.
Hare Krishna.
Usha Kamat Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. I'll just try. I'm not too confident. Utsahan nischayat धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संघात्यागात् सतो वृत्ते सद्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति.
Very nice.
Hare
Thank you,
Krishna.
Mataji.
Thank
Krishna.
you.
Duty, Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Utas Hare Krishna Mataji. Utasaha nischaya dhairya tat tat karma paravartanat sangatyagat sato vrite sadhabhir bhakti prasidhyati. Hare
Very
Krishna
nice.
Mataji.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank you
Mataji. Hare
Mataji.
Krishna. Sharmila, Mataji. Where are you? Sharmila, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
उत्साहान् निश्चय धैर्या तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृत्ते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसिद्ध्यति.
Oh, nice. Hare Krishna. Okay, Simi Mataji, and then we'll read the verse. Simi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. उत्साहान्निश्चयात् धैर्यात् तत्तत् कर्म प्रवर्तनात् संगत्यागात् सतो वृते षड्भिर्भक्ति प्रसाद्यति.
Prasiddhyati. Means it becomes famous. Thank you. Thank you, Mataji. So, any of the children, they want to read the
Mataji,
translation?
can I read?
Who is speaking?
Vibha.
Okay, Vibha, I can start.
Translation. There are 6 principles favorable to the execution of pure devotional service: being enthusiastic, endeavoring with confidence, being patient, acting according to regulative principles such as Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, hearing, chanting, and remembering Krishna, abandoning the association of non-devotees, and following in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. These 6 principles undoubtedly assure the complete success of pure devotional service. Purport.
Yes, one second. So, Utsaha means enthusiasm. Nishchayat means confidence or determination. Thairyat means perseverance, patience. Tat karma pravartanat. Sangha tyagat. Sangha tyagat means give up. Give up the association of non-devotees. Sato vritte, following in the footsteps of the pure of the previous acharyas. So what does it come out? Being enthusiastic, utsahat, endeavoring with confidence, utsaha dhairyat. Dhairyat is patience. Nishchayat. Dhairyat is patient, being patient, acting according to regulative principles. That's sat karma pravartanat. Abandoning the association of non-devotees, which is asatsanga tyaga, and following in the footsteps of previous acharyas is this sato vritte. So by practicing these 6 things, the devotional undoubtedly assures the complete success of pure devotional service. Undoubtedly. Okay, go ahead, Vibha, you can read first few paragraphs.
Devotional service is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Its substance is practical activity. Srila Rupa Goswami, in his Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, has defined devotional service as follows. Anya bilashita sunyam gnana karmadhi anavratam anukulyena krishnano shilam Shilanam Bhaktir Uttama. Uttama Bhakti, or unalloyed devotion unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, involves the rendering of devotional service in a way that is favorable to the Lord. This devotional service should be freed from any extraneous motive and devoid of fruitive karma, impersonal gnana, and all other selfish desires. Bhakti is a sort of cultivation. As soon as we say cultivation, we must refer to activity. Cultivation of spirituality does not mean sitting down idly for meditation. As some pseudo-yogis teach, such idle meditation may be good for those who have no information of devotional service, and for this reason it is sometimes recommended as a way to check the distracting materialistic activities. Meditation means stopping all nonsensical activities, at least for the time being. Devotional service, however, not only puts an end to all nonsensical mundane activities, but also engages one in meaningful devotional activities. Sri Prahlada Maharaj recommends Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Padasevanam Archanam Vandanam Daishyam Sankyam Atmanivedanam. The 9 processes of devotional service are as follows: hearing the name and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, chanting His glories, remembering the Lord, serving the Lord's feet, worshipping the deity, offering obeisances unto the Lord, acting as the Lord's servant, making friends with the Lord, surrendering oneself fully to the Lord. Shravanam or hearing is the first step in acquiring the transcendental knowledge. One should not give the oral reception to unauthorized person, but should approach the proper person as recommended in Bhagavad Gita 4.34 verse. Tadvidhi pranipatena परिप्रश्नेन सेवया उपदेक्ष्यन्ति te gnanam gnaninas. Just to try to learn the truth by approaching a spiritual master, inquire from him submissively and render service unto him. The self-realized soul can impart knowledge unto you because he has seen the truth. It is further recommended in the Mundaka Upanishad tad vignanartanam sa gurum iva bigachet. To understand the transcendental science, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. Thus, this method of submissively receiving transcendental confidential knowledge is not merely based on mental speculation. In this regard, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu told Rupa Goswami. Mataji, should I read this?
Yeah, read this.
ब्रह्मांड भ्रमिते को न भाग्यवन जीवः गुरु कृष्ण प्रसादे पाय भक्तिर्लताभ्य. In the course of transferring the universal creation of Brahma, some fortunate soul may receive the seed of Bhakti Lata, the creeper of devotional service. This is all by the grace of Guru and Krishna. Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya 19.151 verse. The material.
Let's take a break here. Thank you. We're back. So Prabhupada is glorifying the devotional service. Devotional service is saying is not a matter of sentimental speculation or imaginative ecstasy. Means some people imagine that we are worshipping Krishna. We are so much in ecstasy. Oh, he's the Lord of my heart. Yes, that stage comes. Okay, ecstasy, the symptoms come, but they come later. First is work, practice. One has to work with our senses and mind for Krishna under the regulation of a spiritual master. We cannot begin with the end in mind. I mean, we have to begin with the end in mind, but we cannot begin as if we have already achieved the end. So Prabhupada is nullifying all the myths that people have across the globe. What is devotional service? Devotional service is not an armchair philosophy. Devotional service is deep. Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, Srila Rupa Goswami describes Anya Abhilashita Shunyam, Jnana Karma Anavritam, Anukulena Krishnanushilanam, Bhakti Ruttama. This verse has 3 primary and 2 secondary characteristics of a devotional service. This verse is deep. So one has to do devotional service which is favorable to Krishna. Favorable means that it has to be told by a guru. We don't know what's favorable for Krishna. We have no idea. We have to be under the protection of an acharya or a guru who can tell, do like this, do like this. So Prabhupada gives example. If a mother-in-law wants to teach a daughter-in-law how to cook favorably, she teaches her through her own daughter. So the mother-in-law is pretending to teach her own daughter, cook like this, put like this, but she's actually teaching the daughter-in-law. Srila Prabhupada gives this example. So similarly, favorable devotional service has to be executed, but it can only be told to us by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because that favorable devotional service has to be free from jnana, karma, adi, anavritam. It has to be extraneous, and anavritam means there's got to be no ulterior motive, and it has to be free from karma and jnana. Anukulena Krishna Anushilanam. Anu means favorably disposed towards Krishna. Bhaktir Uttama. That kind of a devotional service is the best. So, devotional service, first of all, is not armchair. Devotional service is not imaginative ecstasy. Devotional service is not speculation. Devotional service means cultivation or work, or we have to cultivate. Devotional service is higher than meditation. Meditation means just restraining the mind from thinking nonsensical things. Devotional service means not only restraining the mind from nonsensical things, but also giving it a favorable engagement. Because the minute person comes out of so-called meditation in today's world, we don't see a change in their life. You don't. In fact, they have manufactured meditation for office desk yoga, or I don't know what else, backrest yoga or whatever. We don't see a change in the life. They don't see change in the character, change in the way one is leading the life, because it is not anukilena shilanam. It is not favorably disposed towards Krishna. Devotional service is higher than meditation. We have to understand this. Devotional service, yes, puts an end to the nonsensical thoughts in the mind, but also gives it some meaningful engagement. And this is Prahlad Maharaj's recommendation in 7th Canto Srimad Bhagavatam, that we can execute devotional service by following either 1, 2, 3, or all 9 of these processes. So these are the 9 processes of devotional service. One can become perfect by hearing the name and glories of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Like Parikshit Maharaj, he became perfect by hearing Srimad Bhagavatam from Sukdev Goswami. Chanting his glories, like Sukdev Goswami. Sukdev Goswami became perfect by chanting Srimad Bhagavatam, or glories of Krishna. Remembering the Lord, like Prahlad Maharaj. Serving the Lord's lotus feet, like Mother Lakshmi. Worshipping the deity, like King Prithu. Offering obeisances unto the Lord, like Amrish Maharaj used to do this. Acting as Lord's servant is Hanuman, Lord Hanuman. Making friends with Lord is Arjuna. Surrendering oneself fully to the Lord is Bali Maharaj. We have examples of all the Mahajanas in this category, but we can adopt any one of the 9, or all of the 9, or 2 of the 9. It is stated in Bhaktirasamrita Sindhu, one can adopt 1 process, 2 process, or however number of process according to their natural inclination. So natural inclination will be within 9 categories, because it is stated in the Shastra. So you have to, under the supervision of a guru or devotees, you have to figure out which one is your natural inclination. First step, it begins by giving the oral reception. Shravanam is so important. I think I did with all of you that sound workshop, right? What the sound we have been hearing all our life, and how it gives us a plan on my life. I wanted to do this particular thing in my life because I heard this person in my life saying it, or this book I read, or this TV series I watch, or whatever. So sound vibration actually modifies the way we live. So once we associate ourselves with the proper sound vibration or Hare Krishna Mahamantra, our course of life will change. Did I do it with everyone in this class? Because you all are from different
No, Mataji, no.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay, so we'll do at some point. Thank you. And devotional service has to be taught by a spiritual master. Spiritual master has to be bona fide, not just for the sake of us having a spiritual master, or for the sake of having Prabhupada said, don't keep a spiritual master as a fashion. Okay, it's not an keepsake entity. Spiritual master is serious business. Then we have to approach and inquire submissively and render service and also practice what they're saying. If we don't practice, it still remains hidden. So even Mundaka Upanishad is saying that Vijnanatham Sagurum Eva Bhigachet. To understand that transcendental science, one must approach a bona fide spiritual master. And devotion service is rare. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is conversing with Rupa Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita Madhya Leela, and he tells that Brahmana Brahmite Kono Bhagyavan Jeev, Guru Krishna Prasade Pai Bhakti Lata Bij. So in the course of transversing the universal creation of Brahma, a soul is traveling from one part to another part in the creation of Brahma. Some fortunate soul may get the seed of Bhakti Lata from the Guru, and by the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Very, very rare. So many living entities are transversing so many planets, upper, lower, universes. Somebody will get it. Very fortunate. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is calling that person very, very fortunate. Bhagyavan Jeev. So if somebody has received the mercy of Guru and Krishna, they are very fortunate in the entire creation of Brahma. We are trying to be fortunate in this world by having some sort of a fortune, right? But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is saying, why are you limiting yourself in becoming fortunate in this particular world, in this particular body? Aim for eternal fortune. You see, eternal in all over the universe, in the entire creation of Brahma. Actually, when somebody is chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra purely, even the demigods worship that person. Like Srila Prabhupada, when somebody chants Shuddhanam, very, very pure name, or Haridas Thakur, the demigods are also worshipping that person that you are chanting. You are worshipping Krishna. When Srila Prabhupada used to give discourses, we usually don't talk about it in public, but Srila Prabhupada used to give discourses in public, like he gave in United Kingdom. He told his disciples, make a seat for Narad Muni. He's coming to our classes. So his disciples asked, we don't see him. He said, that's okay. Just make a seat for him because he's coming to our kirtans. So Srila Prabhupada can invite such celestial and pure devotees, and they come. Srila Prabhupada has no ulterior motive. He's fixed. He's Sthita Prajna. He's not claiming to be he's not claiming to be some mystical being. He says, I showed no magic. I just gave you this mantra. So we have to believe what he's saying, because he can give us the truth. Om Agyanatimi, Om Tad Vishnu Paramam Padam Sada Pashyanti Suryaha. There's a Rigved mantra like that for a pure devotee. Okay, I think we can go ahead. Sapna, you want to read?
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Hi Krishna. Sapna, just read little slowly, okay?
Yes, Mataji. Mataji, I also have a doubt. You showed
Yes.
that 9 phases, no, Mataji?
Yes.
That Arjuna was also a servant for Krishna, no, Mataji?
Yes, one can have more than one relationship with Krishna, but the most prominent relationship is mentioned. Huh? Sapna, your voice is breaking up. I think she's hanged.
Mataji. Can
You
you hear me now?
Yes, yes. No, we can't hear you. Okay,
How can friend of Krishna?
Sapna, just check your audio settings because you're audible and not audible. So check your audio settings and come back, okay? Tanvi Mataji, please go ahead.
Okay, Mataji.
The material world. From here, the material world.
The material world is a place of confinement for the living entities who are by nature Anandamaya pleasure seeking. They actually want to be free from the confinement of this world of conditional happiness, but not knowing the process of liberation. They are bound to transmigrate from one species of life to another and from one planet to another. In this way, the living entities are wandering throughout the material universe. When by good fortune one comes in contact with a pure devotee and hears from him patiently, one begins to follow the path of devotional service. Such an opportunity is offered to a person who is sincere. The International Society for Krishna Consciousness is giving such a chance to humanity at large. If by fortune one takes advantage of this opportunity to engage in devotional service, the path of liberation immediately opens. So one should accept this opportunity to return home back to Godhead very enthusiastically. Without enthusiasm, one cannot be successful. Even in the material world, one has to be very enthusiastic in his particular field of activity in order to become successful. A student, businessman, artist, or anyone else who wants success in his line must be enthusiastic. Similarly, one has to be very enthusiastic in devotional service. Enthusiasm means action, but action for whom? The answer is that one should always act for Krishna. Krishnartha Khila Cheshta, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. In all phases of life, one has to perform devotional activities under the direction of the spiritual master in order to attain perfection in Bhakti Yoga. It is not that one has to confine or narrow one's activities. Krishna is all pervading. Therefore, nothing is independent of Krishna, as Krishna himself states in Bhagavad Gita 9.4, Maya tatam idam sarvam jagad avyakta murtina mat sthani sarva bhutani na chaham teshva avasthita. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Under the direction of the bona fide spiritual master, one has to make everything favorable for Krishna's service. For example, at present we are using a dictaphone. The materialist who invented this machine intended it for businessmen or writers of mundane subject matters. He certainly never thought of using the dictaphone in God's service. But we are using this dictaphone to write Krishna conscious literature. Of course, the manufacture of the dictaphone is wholly within the energy of Krishna. All the parts of the instrument, including the electronic functions, are made from different combination and interactions of the 5 basic types of material energy, namely Bhumi, Jala, Agni, Vayu and Akash. The inventor used his brain to make this complicated machine, and his brain as well as the ingredients were supplied by Krishna. According to the statement of Krishna, Mat sthani sarva bhutani, everything is depending on my energy. Thus, the devotee can understand that since nothing is independent of Krishna's energy, everything should be dovetailed in his service. Endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness is called utsaha or enthusiasm. The devotees find the correct means by which everything can be utilized in the service of the Lord. Nirbandha Krishna sambandhe yuktam vairagyam uchyate. The execution of devotional service is not a matter of idle meditation but practical action in the foreground of spiritual life. These activities must be executed with patience. One should not be impatient in Krishna consciousness. Indeed, this Krishna conscious movement was started single-handedly, and in the beginning there was no response. But because we continued to execute our devotional activities with patience, people gradually began to understand the importance of this movement, and now they are eagerly participating. One should not be impatient in discharging devotional service, but should take instructions from the spiritual master and execute them with patience, depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. The successful execution of Krishna conscious activities requires both patience and confidence. A newly married girl naturally expects offspring from her husband, but she cannot expect to have them immediately after marriage. Of course, as soon as she is married, she can attempt to get a child, but she must surrender to her husband, confident that her child will develop and be born in due time. Similarly, in devotional service, surrender means that one has to become confident. The devotee thinks, Avashya Rakshibe Krishna. Krishna will surely protect me and give me help for the successful execution of devotional service. This is called confidence.
Okay, and second, Mataji, let's see. Thank you. So Prabhupada is describing first two elements, Utsaha and Dhairyat. So Utsaha, he's saying, is enthusiasm, and enthusiasm means one has to be very much keen in executing the devotional service. One cannot be like, oh, I will do it tomorrow. Oh, when I'm 60-year-old, I will do it. Oh, I am right now so busy with other things in my life, I have no time. No, no, no. One has to be very enthusiastic in devotional service, and enthusiasm means action. And action for whom? Prabhupada is explaining himself. Krishna Arthikila, Krishna Arthakhila Cheshta. For Krishna. And in all phases of life. Very point to be noted, all phases of life. He's not saying it is only for a retired person, or only for a person who has no job, or only for a person who is brahmachari, or only for a person who is stated in vanaprasth or sannyasi. No, no, no. All phases of life, one has to perform devotional service under the direction of a spiritual master in order to attain perfection in bhakti yoga. We can go on speculating, but but we'll not get Krishna. So if really one wants to have, one wants to really like sincerely perform devotional service, it has to be under the regulative principles. Devotional service, of course, it is not restricted to regulative principles, but in the beginning, one wants and one should be under those principles. Then slowly, one develops a natural taste. You see, that's called Vedahi Bhakti. Vedahi Bhakti or Sadhana Bhakti is under the supervision of a spiritual master who will teach that do like this, do like this. Slowly, when we go on executing them, then we develop attachment for it because the process is perfect. The process is perfect. So, and then stage comes of Raganuga Bhakti. Raganuga Bhakti or spontaneous devotion service is a cultivation. Otherwise, why the mind will stop thinking of Krishna for some time in the day, and then again we have to remember that, okay, I'm not thinking of Krishna. That is not spontaneous devotion service. One has to be very sincere to themselves that I am forgetting to think of Krishna. I am. It's a work for me to think of Krishna. So as soon as I think that it is a work for me, I am still on the sadhana stage. And if I am on the sadhana stage, I need to follow the regulatory principles. Our acharyas have packed 24 hours in such a way that we can remember Krishna. Get up early in the morning, go for Mangalarti, chant your rounds, then hear Bhagavatam class, taste Krishna Prasadam, read Prabhupada 2.5 hours every day, read Prabhupada's books, read, and then after that work for Krishna for a couple of hours. Again in the evening, come back, then read Bhagavad Gita together, worship the deity in the evening, and then again read in the evening little bit, and then take rest, and then get up again. So we have so many engagements. This whole package is given to us by the acharyas because we can think of Krishna like that. Somebody says, why follow regulatory principles? Well, a living entity has a free will, don't follow, but the chances of achieving pure devotional service is minimized because we are not following what the acharyas are giving. And the acharya's heart is full of compassion. Out of compassion, they have made this because they are on Uttamadhikari stage. They don't know anything other than Krishna. But for us, they are telling us, do like this, think like this, work like this, read like this, worship like this. So many programs, so much program. So we should not minimize if we are sincerely trying to try. Or if we don't want to do it, then let's not minimize the people who are doing it. Okay. So it is not that one has to confine or narrow one activities. Prabhupada is saying Krishna is all pervading. One doesn't have to leave their homes and their families and sit in the jungle and Krishna is only available over there. No. Krishna is available everywhere, all pervading, like sun. Sun is available everywhere. We cannot restrict the entry of the sun. We can cover our house with black things, black curtain, black walls, but the minute we open, Krishna is still there. Sun is still there. Like that, Krishna is there. We have to allow him to come. And how do we allow him? By becoming sincere. And what is the first thing? Give oral reception. Hear about Krishna from a bona fide source. Like we are reading Rupa Goswami Prabhupada's Upadeshamrita and Srila Prabhupada's translation. This is hearing. Shravanam and Kirtanam. Hearing and chanting. Right? And everything is dependent on Krishna. So enthusiasm is very necessary. And the definition of enthusiasm is endeavor executed with intelligence in Krishna consciousness. So intelligence. I must know what I'm doing and why am I doing. What is the background behind this action? And when one is very enthusiastic, one has to also cultivate patience, because it's not going to happen all of a sudden. One devotee was telling me one time, 10 years. Okay, if somebody is attending Mangal Aarti every single day for 10 years, then there's a chance they become a pure devotee. They go to the next stage of devotional service. 10 years. And the other day, the other devotee was telling me, I don't remember, was it 7 years or 10 years? When somebody gets second initiation and they chant Gayatri, it takes about 7 to 10. I don't remember whether it was 7 or 10, but he was saying 7 to 10 years after somebody chants Gayatri mantra, can one really understand a little bit more about Krishna consciousness? Srila Prabhupada says one who chants Gayatri mantra properly can immediately realize one's Brahman position as a soul immediately. But so the Gayatri is, I'm not talking about one Gayatri, there's 7 mantras and it has to be broken down from the mouth of the spiritual master first. I cannot just read on my own. It's not going to have the effect. So there's a proper initiation. But anyway, so patience, I'm trying to say patience is required. Okay, one should not be impatient in discharging devotional service, but should take instructions from spiritual master and execute with patience depending on the mercy of Guru and Krishna. Prabhupada is giving his own example. I started this movement single-handedly. There was nothing in the beginning, but he was, fixed, enthusiastic, and patient. Kept on going, depending on the mercy of Guru and Acharyas, and ISKCON came out. Avashya Rakshiva Krishna. Krishna will surely protect me. This is also called Asha Bandha. Asha Bandha means very, very hopeful that Krishna will surely protect me. It's not that it's going to happen today, tomorrow. It will happen when Krishna wants. If you sit with Namanishta Prabhu, he will tell you. 20 years in Mangalore, 20 years, he says that they were trying to do some worldwide preaching and buy temple land and build a temple. 20 years. 20 years later, now in the middle of the pandemic, Krishna manifested this. So really, when you sit with experienced devotees, you understand what is patience and what is confidence. And by hearing their experiences, that is why we need each other. That is why we need association. Okay? Who would like to read? Is Prerna here today? Roja Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
As already explained, one should not be idle, but should be very enthusiastic about executing the regulative principles. Tat tat karma pravartana. Neglect of the regulative principles will destroy devotional service. In this Krishna consciousness movement, there are 4 basic regulative principles: forbidding illicit sex, meat eating, gambling, and intoxication. A devotee must be very enthusiastic about following these principles. If he becomes slack in following any of them, his progress will certainly be checked. Srila Rupa Goswami therefore recommends Tattat Karma Pravartanat One must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vaidhi Bhakti. In addition to these four prohibitions, Yama, there are positive regulative principles, Niyama, such as the daily chanting of 16 rounds of Japamala beads. These regulative activities must be faithfully performed with enthusiasm. This is called Tattat Karma Pravartana, or varied engagement in devotional service. Furthermore, in order to be successful in devotional service, one must give up the association of undesirable people. This includes karmis, jnanis, yogis, and other non-devotees. Once, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was asked by one of his householder devotees about the general principles of Vaishnavism, as well as the general routine activities of the Vaishnava. And Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu immediately replied, Asat Sangatyaga, a Vaishnava Achara. Characteristically, a Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of worldly people or non-devotees. Srila Narottama Dasa Thakura has therefore recommended Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sani Vasa. One has to live in the company of pure devotees and execute the regulative principles laid down by the previous acharyas. The six Goswamis, namely Sri Rupa Goswami, Sri Sanatana Goswami, Sri Jiva Goswami, Sri Raghunatha Dasa Goswami, Sri Gopala Bhatta Goswami, and Sri Raghunatha Bhatta Goswami. If one lives in the association of devotees, there is little chance of associating with non-devotees. The International Society of Krishna Consciousness is opening many centers just to invite people to live in the company of devotees and practice the regulative principles of spiritual life. Devotional service means transcendental activities. On the transcendental platform, there is no contamination by the three modes of material nature. This is called Visuddha Sattva, the platform of pure goodness, or goodness free from contamination by the qualities of passion and ignorance. In this Krishna consciousness movement, we require everyone to rise early in the morning by 4 a.m. and attend Mangala Arati or morning worship, then read Srimad Bhagavatam, perform Kirtana, and so forth. Thus, we hold continuous activities in devotional service 24 hours daily. This is called Satovritti, or following in the footsteps of previous acharyas who expertly filled every moment of time with Krishna conscious activities. If one strictly follows the advice given in this verse by Srila Rupa Goswami, namely being enthusiastic, being confident, being patient, giving up the association of unwanted persons, following the regulative principles, and remaining in the association of devotees, one is sure to advance in devotional service. In this regard, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakura remarks that the cultivation of knowledge by philosophical speculation, the collection of mundane opulence by the advancement of fruitive activities, and the desire for yoga siddhis, material perfections, are all contrary to the principles of devotional service. One has to become thoroughly callous to such non-permanent activities and turn his intention instead to the regulative principles of devotional service according to
Mataji, let's take a break. Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
So we discussed enthusiasm, utsaha, then we discussed patience, dhairya, then avashya rakshipo Krishna is nishchayat, or confidence, and now Prabhupada is talking about asat sanga tyaga. So asat sanga tyaga and tat karma pravartana. Tat karma pravartana means we have to be very, very enthusiastic about executing this principles which are given by the acharyas, which is a part of the Vedayi Bhakti. Unless and until I'm enthusiastic about following the discipline, the Raganuga Bhakti or spontaneous devotional service is not going to manifest. It will take some time. It may take some lifetimes actually, unless and until one develops that enthusiasm. But one can develop that enthusiasm very soon if one is associating with the like-minded devotees. If one is going to the temple and looking and studying their lifestyle of the people who are doing it, That's how most of us come to the Krishna consciousness movement. That's how we look at the devotees. They look so peaceful, they look so glamorous, and they look so happy, and they look so honest and simple. Then one becomes curious that what are they doing that I am not doing? And slowly we find out what they are doing. So what they are doing is they're following these 4 basic regulative principles very enthusiastically. It's not just, oh, no intoxication, no coffee. It's not like that. It says no intoxication because I have a higher taste. It differs. And devotee is enthusiastic and they don't have a doubt. I have not seen a sincere devotee with a doubt. They don't have a doubt. Prabhupada said, give this vow, chant your rounds, associate with devotees, execute devotional service, you're going back to Krishna. A sincere devotee, not a pure devotee, a sincere devotee will not doubt this statement. Why? Because they have associated enough with these devotees who are actually seriously happy. That is why it is important that we associate, we discuss, which will be the next verse. 4th verse is going to define what association is. Again, he's repeating and giving more importance to enthusiasm. If you're paying attention, out of all the 6 things described, Srila Prabhupada is very intricately giving enthusiasm a lot of importance out of all the things. And one must strictly follow the regulative principles of Vedahi Bhakti. No 4 regulative principles, yes 16 rounds. So yam and niyam both have to be followed. Yam means prohibition, niyam means discipline or what has to be done. And 16 rounds on Japamala beads. So many people ask, can counter be used? Can this be used? Can that be used? This is a regulation. Daily chanting of 16 rounds on Japamala beads. Prabhupada said that. There should be no confusion. Okay, I have seen one exception. I'm sorry, one exception I've seen when a devotee uses the counter. That mataji was having brain disease and her hand muscles were getting very weak. So she couldn't hold anything. So I have only seen one case where under the regulation, she was allowed to chant with the beads, with the counter. Other than that, it's really, you follow what Prabhupada says, time will expand. Time is also under Krishna. The problem is not this or that. The problem is I want to make changes. I want to negotiate. I have to stop negotiating in spiritual life. Give up the association of undesirable people. Asat Sangha Tyaga is another one. Srila Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was conversing with Ramananda Rai. And Ramananda Rai asked Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is a Vaishnava? What is the definition of a Vaishnava? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu described the definition of a Vaishnava is Asat Sangha Tyaga a Vaishnava Achar. So a Vaishnava, characteristically a Vaishnava is one who gives up the association of worldly people or non-devotees. Prabhupada gives example, birds of same feather flock together. So if we want to study the person really, look at the association. A child in the school, if he's not behaving well, then immediately the parents think naturally, who are the friends? Who is my child associating with, right? Like that. If somebody is claiming that I am following the regulative principles, just look at who they are associating with. We have to do it for our own sake, not to find fault in them. And if the association is doubtful, then you leave. We are not acharyas. We cannot do anything. Just leave and seek another association. So, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas. Narottam Das Thakur Prabhupada sings this. That one has to live in the company of pure devotees. Has to. It's an order. And execute regulative principles laid down by previous acharyas. So, company of pure devotees. I explained it in last class. Tell me, how can we associate with Srila Prabhupada now, at this time? Who will tell me? How can we associate with Srila Prabhupada now?
By hearing his lectures.
By hearing his, yes, very nice. Yes, Reshma Mataji.
By reading his books, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Reading his books. Okay, very nice. Yes, Mataji, very nice.
Thank you.
Madhavi Mataji. Lakshmi Srinivas Mataji.
Yeah, Mataji, by listening to his disciples who have directly heard him and through that disciplic succession who have heard from their disciples like that, like you while listening from ISKCON devotees.
Yes, that is
And also
correct,
associate-
but we have to hear Prabhupada directly too. Yes, that is correct. We can have association with the sannyasis who are Prabhupada's disciples, but one has to work directly with Prabhupada too. Prabhupada has given this instruction. I'm not making it up. Prabhupada said, read my books. He says that,
Yeah.
read my books.
Yeah,
So,
that's true.
Vani,
Yeah.
one has
Yeah.
to see it with Srila Prabhupada's Vani, Srila Prabhupada's words.
We can listen to his audios, Mataji, his audios which are there, audio lectures, and see him also. It's such an opportunity to see him. I was born in 1961. So I did not have that grace, but he looks so live in those videos, and he talks. It's, if you go on hearing it again and again, I'm sure we are very fortunate that we have such a realized pure devotee in the form of video, and we bless the technology for that. We really bless it.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So, yes, so Vani and Babu. So Vani is serving the Vani is more important. And how can we serve Srila Prabhupada's Vani? By reading his books, by hearing him, and also by following what he's saying. And when one does it, it's like a prescription given by a doctor. If somebody has a disease and goes to a bona fide physician, they follow the instructions of the physician, their body gets cured of the disease. Like that, if we follow the prescription or the regulation given by a bona fide spiritual master, bona fide acharya, then our coverings of material existence start shedding. We can see it, you can feel it in your own existence. Why not experience this? So Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada is going to start his commentary. Prabhupada is going to give a little bit of a glimpse. That collection of mundane opulence by advancement of fruitive activities. Desire for yoga siddhis. This is jnana karma anavritam. So jnana, yoga, karma. So karma, fruitive activities, jnana karma anavritam. Desire for yoga siddhis. Material perfections are all contrary to the principles of devotional service. One has to become thoroughly callous to such non-permanent activities and turn his intention instead to regulative principles of devotional service. So does it mean that one should stop their job? Does it mean that one should stop working in the material world? Or what does it mean? Tell me. When Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada is writing this, one can think that that means that I have to stop working with the material world. I have to renounce. If someone can do that, they're very fortunate. If someone can remain a brahmachari, brahmachari is already 75% in Brahman. But does it mean, can I take it like that, that now I have to stop doing my work? I have to give up my children because they're not my children. Does it mean that? Or what does it mean? Yes, Vandana Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Mataji, we have to stop serving our senses and start serving Krishna. Everything we do, we should think that we are doing this for Krishna only.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Very nice. Reshma Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We should keep Krishna at the center and offer whatever we can back to him, because all that we get is through him.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. Sakshi Mataji. Sakshi Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah, being in this material world, we cannot leave the activities because we are meant to do. We can see that our activities are in Krishna consciousness, and yeah, it is centered around Krishna, offering prasadam and having it. Like even if we are getting a sari, offer it to Radharani, and then we can. I mean, every activity should be surrounded. Even if we are working in office, We can think about Krishna, run for Krishna, jog for Krishna. I mean, yeah.
Very nice. Yes, thank you, Mataji. So nice. So there is one devotee I know. He's quite elderly. He's a trauma surgeon in Florida. Okay, he came for our Bhaktivedanta Medical Association meet few years ago. So, oh my God, he's so jolly, full of life. He's so elderly and he's so rich. He's multimillionaire, but he is a devotee. So he was saying that he's a trauma surgeon, but he's also a business person. So he opened a pharmaceutical company. Okay, now he's a devotee. So he in his company, in the break rooms, you know how in the corporate buildings there are break rooms, and then there are what is going on in the break room? There is this coffee serving machine is kept, or some snacks are kept, right? So he has kept Shrimad Bhagavatam there and Prabhupada books there. That someone is taking a break, so why not just go through this? And Prabhupada lecture goes on there 24 hours a day, because the pharmaceutical company is open 24 hours a day. So anyone who goes and takes a break, sits down to eat or to take a snack, can automatically hear. So that's a devotee. He's an owner, so he can do it. And he's so hilarious. He was saying that he opened community health center for the devotees in 4 states in America. And he was treating the devotees for free. What happened now, the devotees became obliged that I want to do something for you. His name is Murari Gupta Das. So he said, oh, well, do one thing in my operating room. So trauma surgeon now. Operating room on the roof, on the ceiling of my operating room, draw the universal form of Krishna. So the devotees, very nice painters, so they drew universal form of Krishna all over his operating room. Imagine going in an operating room and a patient is lying on the table and they see Krishna upon the floor. So see, Krishna gives intelligence. We think Krishna consciousness is so dry. Get in touch with these devotees, and now you'll see, my God, like he's such a famous person, so rich, and look at him. He said, all of my employees, when I give them some benefits, I also ask them, can I give you some spiritual assets? So most of them say yes, because the boss is saying, and he gives them Prabhupada books. He invites them. He opened a temple. He bought a hotel in Cuba, he was saying, and he converted that to Brahmachari ashram. So whenever there is a retreat from his office, they all go to Cuba, and Cuba government gave him an honorary citizenship. So very famous. So we have to get in touch with these devotees and see that how they are working, and they are so enthusiastic, and they are bringing Krishna like anything. They have surpassed crossed these limits that, oh, maybe Krishna like this, maybe Krishna like that. This is very, very encouraging. Association of devotees is very, very encouraging and very, very like energizing. Okay, I think we can go ahead and read. We can finish this chapter at least. Dyuti Mataji, go ahead. According to Bhagavad Gita.
Hare Krishna Mataji. According to Bhagavad Gita 2.69, Ya nisa sarva bhutanam tasyam jagrati samayami yasyam jagrati bhutani sa nisa paschatya muneha. What is night for all beings is the time of awakening for the self-controlled, and the time of awakening for all beings is night for the introspective sage. Engagement in the devotional service of the Lord is the life and soul of the living entity. It is the desired goal and supreme perfection of human life. One has to become confident about this, and one also has to be confident that all activities other than devotional service, such as mental speculation, fruitive work, or mystic endeavor, will never yield any enduring benefit. Complete confidence in the path of devotional service will enable one to attain his desired goal, but attempting to follow other paths will only succeed in making one restless. In the 7th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated, One must be calmly convinced that those who have given up devotional service to engage in severe austerities for other purposes are not purified in their minds, despite their advanced austerities, because they have no information of the transcendental loving service of the Lord. It is further stated in the 7th canto, although mental speculators and fruitive actors may perform great austerities and penances, they still fall down because they do not have information about the lotus feet of the Lord. The devotees of the Lord, however, never fall down. In Bhagavad Gita 9.31, the Supreme Personality of Godhead assures Arjuna, Kaunteya Pratijanahini na me bhakta pranayasyati. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. Again, in Bhagavad Gita 2.40, Krishna says, Neha bhi karma na swasti pratyavayo na vidyate swalpam api asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. In this endeavor, there is or no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. Devotional service is so pure and perfect that once having begun, one is forcibly dragged to ultimate success. Sometimes a person will give up his ordinary material engagements and out of sentiment take shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord, and thus begin the preliminary execution of devotional service. Even if such an immature devotee falls down, there is no loss on his part. On the other hand, what is the gain of one who executes the prescribed duties according to his varna and asrama but does not take to devotional service? Although a fallen devotee may take his next birth in a low family, his devotional service will nonetheless resume from where it left off. Devotional service is ahaituki aparatihata. It is not the effect of any mundane cause, nor can it be terminated by any mundane cause or permanently curtailed by any material interruption. Therefore, a devotee should be confident about his engagement and should not be very interested in the activities of karmis, jananis and yogis.
Okay.
Should I continue, Mataji?
Yeah, Mataji, go ahead. Please.
Okay. There are certainly many good qualities among fruitive actors, philosophical speculators, and mystic yogis, but all good qualities automatically develop in the character of a devotee. No extraneous endeavor is needed, as confirmed by Srimad Bhagavatam 5.18.12. All the good qualities of the demigods manifest progressively in one who has developed pure devotional service. Because a devotee is not interested in any material activity, he does not become materially contaminated. He is immediately situated on the platform of transcendental life. However, one who engages in mundane activity, be he a so-called jnani, yogi, karmi, philanthropist, nationalist, or whatever, cannot attain the higher stage of Mahatma. He remains a Duratma or cripple-minded person. According to Bhagavad Gita 9.13, Mahatmanas tu mam partha daivim prakritim
Ashrita.
asrita bhajanti ananya manaso janatva bhutadim avyayam. O son of Pritha, those who are not deluded, the great souls, are under the protection of the divine nature. They are fully engaged in devotional service because they know me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, original and inexhaustible. Since all devotees of the Lord are under the protection of His supreme potency, they should not deviate from the path of devotional service and take to the path of the karmi, jnani, or yogi. This is called utsahan, nischayat, dhairyat, tat tat karma, paravratanat, especially executing the regulative activities of devotional service with patience and confidence. In this way, one can advance in devotional service without hindrance.
Thank you so much. So again,
Thank you, Mataji.
Bhaktivedanta Prabhupada is saying that become callous to have any other desire other than Krishna. One can be ambitious and can have everything, but it has to be centered around Krishna. One can become a businessman, sorry, a super educated person, or whatever one is thinking, but make sure it is centered around Krishna. Make sure that when you can use your position to preach Krishna consciousness, and not just to attract the so-called praise or attention of the public for this particular body. Nothing is permanent. Why should we waste our time in doing something which is temporary when we have information about something which is permanent? Why would we do that? I think about it. The activity is not prohibited. The consciousness has to be changed. So engagement in devotional service actually is the life and soul of the living entity. It gives life to the living entity. Yesterday, I was in my Guru Maharaj class, and one lady asked, so Guru Maharaj, if people ask, why can't you live without chanting? Why do you think that you have to chant to live? Why can't you just live without chanting? Sorry. What will be the answer if this question is asked to you? Why can't we just live without chanting? Why somebody has to why a devotee who's chanting Hare Krishna can't give up chanting anymore? Aishwarya, why can't we
Because
live without chanting? Why you're so young, you're so beautiful, you're so educated, why can't you live without chanting?
We can't attain Krishna without.
Okay, Aishwarya.
we are having direct association with Krishna, and that's the food for our soul. And
Food for the soul. Okay, very nice. Very nice. Thank you. Reshma Mataji. Yes.
Hare Krishna Mataji. It is sadhana bhakti. So if we have some regulation, then we will reach Krishna faster by chanting.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Mataji. So, why can't we live without chanting? So, who is saying? Oh, Namacharya, Bidisha Mataji. I'm sorry.
Mataji, please don't call me that.
Go
Hare
ahead,
Krishna.
Mataji. Yes.
Mataji, what I realize, what I feel is like as we all human beings have 4 defects, like we tend to forget. So this is this a way that chanting His holy name is a way to always remember Him?
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji, can I say?
Who is
Mataji,
saying? Can I say? Because I'm
Usha.
preaching. Huh?
Usha Mataji. Usha Mataji.
Okay, Mataji. Go ahead.
Because I think in this Kali Yuga, the only way to reach Krishna is by chanting.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. So I think my question is not understood. Thank you. I will repeat all your so
Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
Mataji, can I?
Tanvi Mataji, go ahead.
Yes, Mataji, like we heard, I don't remember the full song, Cheto Darpana Marjana, like the dust that is accumulated in our heart, that will not be cleaned. And with that, our souls become contaminated. And then we cannot live the life that we all are trying to attain. Like eternal happiness that we are trying to attain, we cannot live with contaminated soul.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Yes, Madhuri Mataji, you wanted to say?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Mataji. I think that our mind, which is wandering here and there, that chanting will help us fix that mind completely on Krishna. And we will think about Krishna, because that's happening with me, Mataji. In the morning when I get up, I'm chanting some of the, I was chanting the Satyahara while taking my bath also.
Very nice.
So I think constantly it is in this, he's in the mind if you go on chanting. I have also realized one thing, I don't know, it may sound funny, that when I get up sometimes from sleep, like even in the afternoon sleep that I take, I get up, Hare Krishna mantra I can hear. I don't know what is this, but I can hear, Mataji.
Very nice.
Chanting
Thank you,
is
Mataji.
helping, Mataji. Mind is fixing. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you. Pankaj Apte Prabhu. Yes, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
I guess it is a day-to-day contact with the Lord. I mean, it's keeping in touch with the Lord every moment of life. So.
Okay, very nice. The company with Krishna. Duty Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Hare
I
Krishna
can't
Mataji.
without chanting. Hare Krishna.
Mataji, according to my understanding, what I believe is that as Krishna says, I am all pervading. So he's not telling us to leave all our duties and responsibilities and, go to a forest and chant on our own, leave our duties. Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. And as you asked, Mataji, what I feel is that, living without Krishna is like, you're telling somebody to live without his heart. And so you cannot live without your heart and kidneys and your entire body will stop functioning. So
Very
living
nice.
without Krishna is like that, according to my understanding, Mataji. That's what I think.
Thank you, Mataji. So I'll tell you what my Guru Maharaj answered. He said, well, because I'm a spiritual being, so it's a need of the soul to chant Hare Krishna. It's a need, like the need of the body is to give food. Right? We cannot, body becomes weak if there's no food given. If we don't drink water, we are progressing towards a weak body. So like that, if I don't feed my soul, like Aishwarya was saying, I think, feed my soul, because I am actually a spiritual being. I'm a spirit actually. I'm covered with this body, and if I don't chant, then how can I give the food to my soul? Okay, so chanting is the way. Chanting is the food for soul. Eat it, then we don't have to eat anything else. No jnana, no karma, no anavrita. No material mundane things will make us happy, because we know what is the real thing. Not that we are negating and there is nothing positive. They are both. Negation with the proper understanding of what's more important. This is called putting first things first. So all the devotees of the Lord are under the protection of His supreme potency. All of them. Krishna is not saying just the pure devotees. All the devotees, any level of a devotee is under the protection of His supreme potency. Sometimes the devotee thinks that I may forget Krishna. Krishna catches that thought and Prabhupada says, thinks that I will have to give a reinforcement of the memory. Special. So we have to be very, very vigilant that I may not forget Krishna. The minute we forget Krishna, that moment some misery enters. When you chant Hare Krishna for some years, you can say that, oh, I am so miserable today. I didn't chant my rounds properly. Why? It's not the misery. It's not the circumstances. It's my sadhana which was not proper. Okay, so I'm going to present the summary of the chapter.